So we are going to talk about why I gave up the dating apps. I think they're evil. Okay, maybe they're not evil, but I do think they somehow reduce our social skills and make it easier to play games, dating games. So I don't know. I'm just going to give you my experience. So I am probably on every dating app or site because see what happened was I have an older phone and I'm trying to get a new phone, so whatever. So I can't put a lot of apps on my phone, but I'm probably on every dating site that you can think of. Zeus, Match, POF. That's a Afro Romance. What are the other ones? Everyone that you can think of, I'm on. So I've had so many experience with people who catfish. They have a really nice profile. They seem really genuine, but you find that either one, they're not in the country. They're sorry Nigerians, but they're like a Nigerian, catfisher, or they're just someone that they're not who they say they are. Two, I've had a lot of also people that seem really genuine, but when we get to either chatting or talking on the phone, I find that they either one want me to be a part of a threesome, like a sex group, or to join their marriage or their relationship. Two, I had women contact me, even though they had like a man's picture. I've had this was I have to tell you guys this. So this is one person that I thought was really nice. We were chatting, and it's like around the time when my son was learning how to drive. So we were on he's driving us around, so I was able to sit in the passenger side and text, if just check my accounts and check. So it's like, oh man, this guy, we were chatting for like a few days, and we were leaving church, and my son was driving. I'm in the passenger side, and he texted me, like, oh, how was church? And I was like, oh, it was really great. We're heading home. If you're free, I can give you a call as soon as I can. He's like, oh yeah, you seem really cool. And he's like, oh, so what's the craziest thing you've ever done? So I didn't think anything of it, and maybe I should have known that that's a sign right there. I was like, oh, I was a police officer way back when, and in order to pass pass on to become a police officer, one of our tests was to climb a fire tower. And I thought that was crazy because during that time I realized I was afraid of heights. I didn't know up until that point that I was afraid of heights. So I said, I climbed the fire tower. I thought that was kind of crazy. He's like, oh wow, really? And then so I felt compelled to say, well, what about you? I mean, I didn't wasn't curious about that, but he asked me, so I was like, what about you? And he goes, I went down on a guy. Huh? Um, I'm like, question mark? Yeah, I'm not gay, but I like sucking you know men's private area. So of course I'm like, my son's like, is everything okay over there? I'm like, son, just drive. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is just grown folks. Just be focused on the road. I'm at this point. So clearly, one, he didn't read my profile. So I've learned from years ago, I don't put everything in my profile, but I do put the highlights. Hey, I would like to get married. Two, I'm heavily involved in church and developing a relationship with God. I would love to share that with someone. Three, like to explore more of the D&D. Right, kind of like those highlights. So I said, did by any chance did you read my profile? And he was like, he didn't say anything. I said, I don't think if you do go back and read my profile, I don't think we're going to be a fit, you know. But and plus, I'm not interested in any sort of alternative, group sex or kinky sex or whatever the situation may be. But I do wish you well, but I need you to do me a favor. I need you to be careful because in his profile, the reason why I do like a lot of guys that are fathers, and if if they're divorced or if they have kids, and they're in their kids' life, and I said, please be careful out here and use protection. So anyway, that was a story time. Like I have so many, but I'm like, this is crazy. But that whole swiping, and multiple people, and and then the people that don't want to meet up, that seem decent. What I found is a lot of times they are married or they're involved or they're just playing around. They're just bored, and that's what you find is a lot of people are bored. I think if you're not in on my journey where I'm just literally I'm going my own way, I am on the path of singleness and I'm exploring that and I'm just living that life. If you're really going to stick into the online dating or the dating apps, just really be careful and make sure you scrutinize your options. But for me, I just found it to be a bunch of foolery and people weren't honest about how they looked. They weren't honest about what they were looking for, or they just wanted sex too. So that's kind of an issue if I'm celibate. So I literally, for me, it was just I'm over it, the foolery. And I think as I'm 38, I'm getting closer to 40, just getting older. I have a son who's older. I just, me personally, I don't have time for the foolery. So don't, I just remember in my 20s, like dating or like people actually went on dates. I didn't, and they actually, hey, it was like kind of the traditional, the guy would pay for the date. Not saying that's the only reason I want to date, but it was like open the door. I like that. And I guess what I find is that we're moving away from the traditional way of dating, even in the church. And that's a whole nother, we'll talk about that. It just seems like people are moving away from the traditional way of doing things. So they are, and I'm moving away from the traditional. I'm like, I tap out. Um, I'm waving my white flag, wave the white flag. So it's just been a really interesting experience. Also, the dating apps, it was one guy who I really, for some reason, I was like, why did he click on me? And he would always talk about like it's hard. And when he finally did like started interacting with me that same day, he was like, can I come over? And I could see why very attractive guy, why he wasn't getting, and he had these, mean things to say. And I'm like, don't you want to talk first? Like, how are you going to come over someone's house? Like, it was that wasn't cool. And one of the sites they can see when you click on their profile, either when they reach out to you, you can kind of go check out their profile. If you're not interested, you don't say anything, or they just can see when you click on their profile. And I literally hate like the passive aggressive people that will say, "Oh, you didn't like what saw," or something like that. I had this one guy who it was a young. You didn't read my profile. It was a young guy. He was in his 20s, and his message to me was something very sexual. Like, "Hey, mommy, I'll." Be your sugar baby, or so. I don't know. It was very sexual. He's an attractive guy, and I used to when I very years ago when I started online dating, I used to like try to respond to everyone like, thank you for interested, I'm pursuing someone else right now. And I had like a canned response or something just because I don't want to reject anyone. I don't want to be mean or anything like that. But this guy changed it for me. And I said that canned response, like, thank you. We're looking for different things. Because he was like 21 or I don't know. Just it was so many things that already from the get go, it's not going to work. And he was just like, whatever B and you're effing, like he started cursing and calling me names. And I was like, you just demonstrated why we're not compatible. And just the way we're talking responding is just, and I blocked him and I reported him to that particular dating app. But it was just like crazy. So you get some passive aggressive people. People are nasty if you don't continue. Or I have a lot of the black guys, and I'm not singling them out, but when they would respond to me And let's say, I just see that we're not interested, especially if we start talking and I'm saying, oh, okay, so what's your timeline for marriage? Or like, what's your church home or something like that? Because again, I told you my profile, my highlights. And they was like, well, I believe in a higher power, but I don't, the Bible was by the white man. Or they would say some other stuff like marriage is just, it's the system set up for marriage. It's not really whatever God, I, I don't know. It was like we're not compatible as far as our belief systems from the very one or two exchanges. So I was like, you know what? I think we're looking for something different. Then they would get nasty. That's why black women are single. They have all the black women are single. That's why they have all these requirements. I was just like, what are you? It's okay to have to want to have commonalities with the person you're with because you want to be with them for a lifetime. And I would say, well, you don't believe in marriage, so we don't even believe in the same thing. How's that having like these like off the chart requirements? And my basic requirements is have a relationship with God, not necessarily be all churchified, but have a relationship with God. Believe the same thing that I believe, which is I'm a Christian. You don't have to be down to Baptist, but those same foundational functions. Don't have the HIV or any other like life terminal infection. Don't be out in the streets, and believe in monogamy and wanting to build and grow old with something. That's all I got, I think. If you like Star Wars, that's a plus. If you like The Flash, we're doing good. And if you're, and hopefully be healthy. Now, you don't have to be like me on like this health fitness journey, but just want to take care of your body and your family. Because I believe as our family gets older, we should want to love and care for them and try to do our money so we can. And be kind of modest. I'm not into a lot of like, you'll see me in the same outfits and I'm clean and everything, but just be low key and enjoy life. I don't think that's off the charts. I'm not inquiring about your car and it has to be the latest car or making sure you have all the, things that a lot of what I've encountered. All those like material and superficial things. That's not really my style anyway. So it's just, I don't, like I said, for me, dating experience in dating apps, but let's talk about the dating apps. It's a no go for me at this point in my life. So I'll show you at a later time how to go in and sort of if you want to hide your profile or if you just want to delete, that's fairly easy for some of the main ones. But just if you're still sticking in there, the good fight, I'll try to give you some tips. But of course, like you all know that I'm off the reservation. I'm going my own way. I've gone my own way. And so you all are on this journey with me of how I navigate singleness and the ups and downs of that. So this video has been long enough. Thank you. And I will continue to hopefully entertain you and hopefully you can resonate with me. Like, what are your stories of dating apps? Why did you throw in the towel? And put them in the discussion or in the comment box below. And like I said before, please like, share, subscribe, and let's just stay together and on this journey. And I do notice a lot of men on YouTube or social media giving advice, and they tend to be in relationships or they tend to be single themselves. Like, and that's nothing wrong with that, at all. But I'm hoping as women we can kind of come together and bond about, our trials together and give that perspective, not necessarily a man's perspective, but come together and be like, we're not putting up with the bull crap. Anyway, anywho, see you later and I'll see you at the next video.